I'd been driving for 11 hours straight. The plan was to make it to St. Louis before midnight, but somewhere around Indiana, I hit a wall. Mentally, physically. My GPS was glitching, I hadn't eaten since morning, and the rain had just started to fall. It felt like the world was nudging me to pull over. That's when I saw the sign. Mile marker 17. Motel diner guest vacancy. I didn't recognize the name. It wasn't part of a chain, and there was no logo. Just old block letters glowing faintly through the rain. I turned off the highway and followed a narrow road through thick woods. No lights, no houses, just the trees pressing in from both sides. After a mile, the woods opened up into a small clearing where the motel sat. A single-story building with peeling paint, a dark diner attached, and an old gas pump out front. A buzzing neon sign blinked. Motel 17. Vacancy. There were no other cars. Just mine. Parked and went inside. The office smelled like mothballs and mildew. Behind the counter sat a woman in a faded pink robe. Her hair was white, piled into a messy bun, and her eyes didn't seem to focus. "Room 4, she said before I could even speak, sliding a key across the counter. "No ID, no payment." I hesitated. "Do you need my name?" She shook her head slowly. "Already got it." I didn't ask what that meant. Room 4 was halfway down the dim hallway. Inside, everything felt old. The wallpaper was floral and peeling. The furniture looked like it hadn't moved in decades. The bed creaked when I sat on it, and the lamp buzzed faintly. And in the corner, just beside the dusty dresser, was a brown boot. Just one. I stared at it for a while, unsure whether it was decoration or something left behind. I nudged it with my foot. It was heavy, worn, real. Weird, but I was too tired to care. I lay down without even changing. Just as I started to drift off, a noise woke me. Lump, lump, scratch, froze. It came from under the bed. I told myself it was probably the pipes or the floorboards. Old building after all. Still, I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and slowly leaned over the edge to look. There was nothing except the boot. Under the bed. I swear I hadn't put it there. I sat up, heart pounding, and laughed nervously. "I'm overtired," I whispered. A few minutes later, another sound. This time from the closet. Scratch, scratch. I stood up, grabbed the chair, and crept toward it. Slowly I opened the door. Inside. A long, heavy coat hanging on a crooked wire hanger. And on the floor. The same brown boot. Only now there were two. My blood ran cold. I closed the closet and didn't open it again. That night I didn't sleep. I sat on the edge of the bed until sunrise, the lamp buzzing beside me. When morning came, I rushed to pack and headed to the front desk to return the key. But the office was empty. No sign of the woman. Just a dusty counter and a note scrawled in faded blue ink. "Drive safe. Some rooms stay with you." I left without a word. About an hour later, I pulled into a busy gas station off the main highway. The sight of people, cars, noise, it was comforting. I went inside, bought coffee, and asked the cashier, "Hey, you ever hear of a place called Motel 17? Near mile marker 17. He looked up confused. "What?" "I stayed there last night. Old place. Real quiet." The cashier frowned. "You sure?" "Yeah." He shook his head slowly. "That place burned down, man. Years ago. Like 2013. Caught fire in the middle of the night. Woman running it died in the blaze. Whole area's fenced off now." My stomach dropped. "No," I said. "It's still there. I just stayed room 4. "You sure you weren't dreaming?" he asked. I pulled the key from my jacket to show him. But it wasn't a key anymore. It was a rusty dog tag, worn and dented. The number 4 was barely legible on the surface. Cashier stepped back, eyes wide. "Dude, what the hell?" I didn't answer. Couldn't. I got in my car, hands shaking. I tossed the dog tag onto the passenger seat. But when I glanced in the rearview mirror, I stopped breathing. Lying in the back seat was the coat from the closet, folded neatly. And beside it, the boots. Both of them.